Right, hopefully you can see and hear me, because a couple of people said to me, could I do an evening stream again who are in different time zones who never catch when I do an early one. I said, sure, why not? Don't know if I'll be on very long, because obviously I've already done one stream today, but I thought I'd do another one for anybody that wanted to catch it. So there's no theme really, as long as it doesn't turn into pointless political bickering or whatever. But hopefully everybody's all right. I've not done loads today. I filmed a video earlier, obviously did that stream earlier in the day, and that's been about it. All right, Henry, good to see you on. All right, Joseph, shalom to you as well. That means peace, doesn't it? Or like good wishes or whatever. All right, good evening, Briggs. Good afternoon to you, Spider Claw Days. Hello, District Nods. I'll give you a wave because you've given me a wave. But yeah, there's no theme for this one. Brandon, hello. Thank you. I'm glad you like the videos. Hello, AK47. Hello, War Videos. But yeah, this was just an extra one because I think it was Henry and a couple of other people said, oh, but when you stream in the afternoon, we don't get to watch him. I did watch John Wick earlier. I'd never watched John Wick, and that was quite good. Because I think on Amazon Prime for ages, they had John Wick 2 on there, but not John Wick 1. I didn't want to watch John Wick 2 without watching John Wick 1, so I've, What do you mean the title has bars? No subject. But yeah, hopefully everybody's on fine, doing fine even. Yeah, like I said, at the moment, there's no real theme for it. Yeah, I think we all do, Keegan, but sadly it's not going to end quickly. For those of you that didn't see, the UK is now at the second highest death toll in the world after the US, which is obviously not a good thing to boast about, but, like I said, if we'd been a bit cynical, I think we could have seen a lot of this coming, with lack of PPE early on, lack of preparedness, pretending herd immunity was going to work to begin with. As in Rainbow Six Siege, Spider Claw, or some of the older Rainbow Six games. I played some of the older ones as well, like, what was it, Rogue Spear or something, one the really old one was called. But, yeah, I played Siege, but the problem is with Siege, I found, was that, they kept adding updates that kept messing with the game balance. Well, as in, like, what the Russians are wearing in it, Bravo. Right, Mike? But yeah, I'm just doing an extra stream for any of the people just coming on because when I did one earlier, people are always like, oh, when you do streams in early time zones, I can't watch them. That would be really great, Shed on Fire, but here's the issue. Driving around in one for fun, it's more the cost of it, isn't it? Because military vehicles are not cheap to run because a lot of them, if they're armoured, will use up a lot of fuel and potentially fall under heavy goods licenses, etc. Yeah, I'm all right, Henry, thank you. Yeah, I've played War Thunder, but not in yonks. I used to play it quite a lot. I just got bored of it eventually. Omegle now, that's a name I've not heard in a long time. Wasn't that the old chat program? Well, we can talk about that, Arnold, if that's what people want to talk about. But as said, the issue is that for me, they'd cost too much and they'd be a bit bad on fuel economy, Sadly, at the moment, Oscar, I don't think you've got many good options. I think the only thing you can really do if you can't find any proper masks is maybe get a couple of layers of old cotton and wrap those around your face. It's going to reduce the amount you inhale of sort of sawdust and things like that. Bad Company 2 was probably my favourite Battlefield game, AK-47, but Battlefield 1942, 1943, they were both good. Was it 2142? The sort of futuristic one, that was alright. Well, the sooner we get a good approved vaccine, Tim, the better. Because then we might all be able to go back to some semblance of normality. What's going on in Brazil? I've not heard anything about it, unless it's just sort of corona. So I know a lot of countries are obviously going to have issues where they don't have enough test kits or whatever, so Corona could be a lot worse than people think. Yeah, the thing is, Schwabble, unless you know you're getting an FP5 filter that's an old type that's definitely got a GOST thread on it, I wouldn't bother. Well, that'd be Star Wars Battlefront, wouldn't it, Orc? Not not the Battlefield series, the Battlefront series. But what's that? The Kashyyyk map, where you get the Cis or whatever they're called, which now has a completely different meaning. The Cis versus the Republic or whatever. It's probably just because they're from Poland, Schwabble Wobble, so a lot of Polish sellers probably sell them for the UK. I don't know. I'd go for the MC1 over the GP7. The GP7 should technically be better, but it's not because of, no oral nasal cup. It's not a great design. I would disagree with you there, Hiku. On paper, the GP7 should be better, but my GP7 fogs up horribly, and I just do not find them comfortable at all. Whereabouts are you from then in Russia then, Joshua? Compot says something I can't quite understand. I'm sorry to be skobtin. That's very strange. Cheers, Bravo. Yeah, it's my good old Fleckton trousers I've got on as always. Well, not always, but some of my most comfortable Milsurp trousers are the Fleckton ones. It depends. I mean, Zippos look cooler and everything, Northern Dawn, but the issue is Zippos evaporate fuel. I mean, if you get one of those Zippos that has the butane sort of insert for them, that'd be pretty good, but let's hope not, Keegan, because it's not going to go well for a lot of people if it does. Well, it certainly makes people hear you a lot easier, Schwabble Wobble. You're not going to have to try and shout really loud. All right, George. My favourite gas mask's the Avon CT12. I should have it behind me somewhere. There you go. I'll put it on for a bit if you like. I mean, unfortunately, I aren't going to be able to read the chat very well, but Jesus says there's a lot of stupid people here protesting about the lockdown. Yeah, what's spreading infection. Arctic Fox Airsoft says, I live near the largest concentration of nukes in the world, so I hope no one starts a nuclear war. Whereabouts that then? I assume where there's a big US sort of load of missile silos. Well, personally, I don't really have much of an opinion on it, Schwabble Wobble. If the Scots want independence, they can have it, but there's pros and cons to them getting independence. CADPAT is a lot harder to own and find, so it means if you sold the CADPAT, you could get more money for it, but it's also a nicer thing to keep hold of, so I don't know. Yeah, £25 for a 4A1, considering what prices are like at the moment, is a very good price. That depends, Keegan, because I think if there was global thermonuclear war, it wouldn't go very well for most people, would it? And just hope for the best, I guess, George. Scooby-Doo, my least favourite gas mask's that Chinese pewter one I have. Sadly, composite 420 book S10s at the moment are silly money. like normally hundreds of pounds. Well, as in the modern Russian masks, Applex. The only modern Russian mask I've got is the PMK3 and that whatever it's called, like the Zelensky mag. So I hear the PMKS is good, but I don't have one. Yeah, I wouldn't pay that for one composite 420 book because you're essentially paying $370 for something that's quite old at this point. I think it's because we're at the stage now, Shed on Fire, where people kind of know if they're going to get a mask or not. You know, it's less of a hot topic, isn't it? The nice thing is I've actually been able to reply to all the comments I've got today. Right, Richard? I have no idea, Harry Noon, but I'm not exactly a legal person, so I wouldn't ask me if I was you. That's pretty cool, Arctic Fox. It's only going to be like a 30-minute stream or so today, SCP site, because so it'll be on another 20 minutes. Because this is just a bonus stream for people that came on that weren't on the earlier one. Right, Alex? I'll just close Steam because I don't want that slowing down my internet. That's $20 isn't bad at all considering current prices. If they're good, if they're actual MP5s and not the French one, Tim, that's good. But I know Sportsman Guide, when they said they had MP5s, actually had the French mask. Yeah, sounds good, George. You'll have to do it on Discord because obviously annoyingly it won't let you post it on YouTube, but yeah. Yeah, I think that's the thing, Onion. I think a lot of people just like being able to chat to people if they're stuck indoors all day doing nothing. For $30, yes, the Furnez is a very good mask, or Ferenz, however it's pronounced. eBay, I suggest Orkbard. Right, unknown Russian? Yeah, the Polish one is definitely better than the French one, Tim. It was just better materials. It was made out of like better rubbers. Complot, have you been drinking a lot tonight? Because all of your messages are very slurred. Yeah, you definitely can, Alex. It's just I was doing this for a laugh because somebody said, could you put the mask on? Right, Danish prepper? Anyway, I'll just go back to looking normal now. The person's seen my favourite mask, but oh, it seems really bright now because I've had those like sunglass things on. Alex says, you are hilarious. I don't know why it was the dramatic ... but it would certainly protect to some degree, Jesse. It's not going to be as good as a proper mask, as in, a P3 rated, FFP3 style mask, but I'd say over nothing, it's certainly better than nothing. Yeah, glasses outserts, they're not official ones. It was for sarcasm, was it? Here's the thing: unless somebody says in the post I'm being sarcastic, you can't tell on the internet. No, for all the people asking, the only thing I can really suggest is look on eBay or other surplus stores if you're interested in certain masks and hope they're on there. The issue is that's probably not going to be the case. Is that the Gordon Ramsay thing, Jesus? No, I don't. Have a little cry, I think, Joshua, but there's not much you can do about it, is there? Yeah, they're too expensive to collect at the moment, Arctic Fox Airsoft. When you say the GP9, do you mean the PPM88 or like the modern mag mask, whatever it's called? Because I don't know if the GP9 is officially really a mask. Yeah, I like instant noodles, a bandit. Oh, Compot's finally made a message I can read. He says, "How are you doing today?" I assume he means today. Yeah, I'm all right, thank you, Compot. Right, cool. Let me open it and have a look then, George. Oh, this is annoying. Our European visitors are important to us. The site is currently unavailable to visitors from the European Economic Area while we work to ensure your data is protected in accordance with applicable EU laws. Thanks, EU. I can't watch it. There we go. But thanks anyway, George. But yeah, it's typical. Although we've technically left the EU, we're still under a lot of those things of all these sites aren't secure enough, so people don't want to get sued, so they won't show it you. All right, cheers, George. Yep. Compot says sorrow about my message. Once COVID's over, Alfie, it might be a very cheap thing. So I reckon a lot of people are going to sell off their masks, so they don't want them anymore. Well, SCP site, basically all masks would eventually degrade under prolonged chemical usage, but the MP5 and that I wouldn't trust as much as some masks in regards to blister agents, if you mean stuff like lewisite and mustard gas. Perfect Society says some think viruses are electroparasites, not living things. I think viruses technically aren't living things, though, are they? And that viruses are spread by injection only. Well, there's certainly a lot of viruses you can inhale, so that wouldn't be true. Compot's finally made a comment that's readable. I have a old Soviet mask. Good on you. Right, Datvic. All right, Richard. Oh, Richard said I would get better. All right. Richard said, found a place in the UK that sells diesel oil burners, so might use one of those for my forge. Worked out they are cheaper to run the gas, more convenient to me to buy red diesel plus safer. Does that mean you wouldn't run into the coal sort of coke problems as well, where it doesn't heat consistently? That would be good if you could just reliably forge stuff using diesel. And red diesel's cheap, isn't it? Because it's literally diesel with a dye in it, so you can't legally use it in your car because of tax reasons. And Datvic says it seems every 2 years that there's a new viral disease, so no, I don't. Those who purchase during or self-immerse, to an extent. The thing is, I reckon a lot of people will just because they won't think that far ahead. Like you said, if you were sensible, I think you'd just keep a mask laying around if you ever do need it again. But a lot of people, I don't think would. I think as soon as Corona's over, they'll sell off everything, pretend it didn't happen, and then, if something does happen again, then that's not good. You're not coming across a lot like a troll bandit. They're sort of cool orc bard, but I don't know how practical they are. They're more like the old tank destroyers, aren't they? But that's the Swedish one, isn't it? The Stur 103, or is that the really old one? But I know the Swedes have a really cool, don't they? Like kind of flat tank destroyer thing that uses its hydraulic system for aiming. No, as I've said, Henry, quite a few times at the moment, if I did those, I'd get a lot less YouTube views because YouTube seems to punish you if you do videos that people don't want to watch. I know of the T virus, Joshua. T Veronica, is that from Code Veronica? I haven't played that in ages, but I mean, COVID doesn't turn people into zombies at least, so there's that. Take the filter off, put your GP5 in a sink with soapy water, leave it in there for a while and hope the smell goes. PMG2 is fine if you've got a good filter for it. Doesn't keep all of them away, I'm afraid, Alex. But yeah, I think most of the people who want to be dicks don't really want to give me money, so there's that. No, I'm not tough guy. A few of my relatives have been, but I would be medically unfit to even if I wanted to. Oh, that's good then, Rich. Yeah, it makes sense then. If you can get one for not too much, I'd go for that because the diesel's probably always going to burn at a certain temperature, isn't it? No, the S10's corrective lenses should sit inside the mask. Obviously, this is a CT12, but if you look there, again, it's going to be hard to show on camera. Let me flick this lamp on. I don't know how visible that is on the camera, but basically between the eyepieces, there's the little attachment for them there. They're like two little plastic clips. I don't know if they're really going to be very visible though there, but basically they would just go there where my finger is. But again, sadly, I don't have the optical inserts for the S10. Otherwise, I'd definitely use them. But yeah, asthma, ulcerative colitis as well. Yes, I do, Briggs. It's a meh mask. Well, you've already asked me that this stream, or somebody did SCP Site Suka, and it's still a Chinese pewter mask. My opinion's not changed in 10 minutes. Should be still completely fine, Amiga Prime Sentinel, unless it's been damaged in storage or damaged from previous owner, for example. Don't go outside, Phil. That's my advice. They cost a shitload of money, Brett. That's the problem. I mean, I wouldn't mind reviewing one, but at the moment, they were expensive anyway, and due to Corona, they'd be really expensive. They look like good masks, but I wouldn't really have any practical need for them. Way too much wobble wobble is the answer to that. I can't give you an exact value, I'm afraid. How would they do that then, David? Would they just take bits out of it and then just put like gas seals in it in theory if they could do it? It really depends because it's not like I do proper, really good reviews where they're all subjected to the exact same stuff. It's just the longer I wear a mask, the better I get an idea if it's comfortable over long periods or not. I'll give you a clue. Masks aren't comfortable. The longer you've got them on, the less comfortable they get. But some are better than others. So basically, World War II mask. There you go. Thank you very much, Datvik. He said he bought overpriced S10 gas mask. Dump it. Dump it again. Oh, that big one there. That one was on eBay a while ago. There was a seller that had a load of old Warsaw Pact firing range signs. So, you know, one's for like tank crossing, one for like landmines and stuff like that. And that was one to warn people to wear masks. So obviously it was the one I got because I thought it looked cool. All right, see York. I'll have to look up an OR1 because off the top of my head I don't recognise what it is. Is it a gas mask? OR1 gas mask. I'm not really getting any results up for that, I'm afraid. Yeah, East German gear is actually quite good, isn't it? I mean, the webbing belts aren't the East Germany made, but the helmets, the Stricktarne, however it's pronounced, uniforms. Yeah, heavily great. But yeah, that's an interesting thing. But it's good you got one, because I know when loads of people have asked me about that, they've just never been around. But it's certainly not Bravo, because all that stuff's rotting in a graveyard in Chernobyl. It comes from the many, many, many bunkers and factories the Soviets made. Thank you as well, Phil. I appreciate it. I'm not a massive fan of PMKs. I'm sorry. I just don't think they're that good. Let me search that then. USN UNDO mask. Oh, what? One of the old cool sort of US Navy style masks. Do you mean Blumenthal, Harris? Because there's a guy called Shot Zombie who keeps shouting at me to buy Blumenthal. Oh, thank you, Danish Prepper. Let me look into that and then link people if they. Escape hood means fixie flux. Let's have a look. See if. Fixie Flux offers your service dog security and protection in a contaminated environment. They look a lot better saying that than the old masks, which were, like little tiny masks. Right, this one doesn't look as good as some of the ones coming up, but I can, and it's like 113 euros, but there you go. That's what he's on about. I'm glad you enjoyed the videos, Anthony. I appreciate it. What's my favourite USSR mask? Probably the Shums, the one that looks like the skeleton sort of face that was for snipers or people who needed to use binoculars and that sort of stuff. Yeah, sadly a bandit at the moment. Lots of postages just going nowhere. Right, if your capacitor, Connor, is completely fine, so it's not going to drain over time from a faulty capacitor, it won't move at all in the grey. 1 centigrade is more than 1 Rontgen. So 1 centigrade is about 1.14 Rontgen. In an entire day, in general, most people would be exposed to like 2 to 3 microsieverts. And in millirontgens, that would be like maybe 1 millirontgen. So in theory, the answer is it would take over a year to move 1 centigrade in terms of like actual realistic numbers. I mean, it's possible, Amiga, but I don't think it's very easy. In theory, you just have to hope somebody's got some for sale secondhand on eBay for a reasonable price. What do you mean by send over $100 on a mask? That's cool, George. Don't worry about getting it to me in a hurry, but yeah, thank you for that. But yeah, I mean, if I really wanted to, I could go on your link with a VPN later and see if I could get on, but yeah, it's just a stupid EU thing that made it hard to. Yeah, that was the one I saw on the Google image thing, Danish, I thought looked a lot better, rather than one that was yellow, but it would be very difficult, Bravo. In theory, you're meant to be put in like a shower type thing first to get a lot of the liquids off of you, and then it's meant to be, I think somebody normally helps you get out of it, so you're not kind of touching lots of bits yourself. But yes, like Henry says, actual questions would be good, not random kind of nonsense. Well, I'm only on another 5 minutes and then I'm off. Is that for the shed, Rich? That sounds good. So the Shadow says, hey, good day, mate. America's made loads and loads of masks. Some are good, some are bad. Tusky says, thank you very much. Thank you for all the info you provide us. Thank you very much for your donation. Now your thing's a bigger picture. It looks like it's actually Homer Simpson. I thought it was like an EU flag or something from the little thumbnail, but is that Homer Simpson on the picture? I still can't tell completely, but it looks a bit like Homer. Don't know why you'd want to do that, Hiko, unless you've got one on each eye. Does that make it 3D? As in, like, a steel pot, as in a helmet's the shadow, or a pot as in, like, a cooking pot? Oh, it's Homer and Marge, is it? I can't really see it properly from the little thumbnail. I thought it was Homer's hand like that, but I suppose it could be Marge on the left. All right, I'm on for about 3 more minutes, Daniel. So I hope you enjoy your very short stay. I definitely think Compot's been drinking something pretty strong tonight. Because he's putting lots of very nonsensical questions on. Oh, a Plix TV, is that the Czechoslovakian, like, white dust hood thing? Like, yeah. I think somebody asked me about that. Did I own one? And I said no, but Phil Marston says he wants his dollar back. Sadly, I don't know if there's any way I can actually refund you. You'd have to ask Google for a refund there, I think. There's no way I can do it. Germany, Mystic Gamer. Actually, West Germany. Zivilschutz, as in civil protection filter, isn't it? Or something like that. The Zivil is civil. And the filter is filter. I can't remember what shut means, but I've got a deactivated PPSH and a deactivated M1 carbine and a deactivated Lee Enfield. Both would be pretty awful, wouldn't it, Schwubble Wubble? Yeah, that bit, because that was when everybody suddenly wanted info on masks due to corona. At least I can keep up with the chats now. Well, it depends how much. Again, UFO. Again, it's the thing of what can you get one for? Because if it's hundreds of dollars for a mask, I just do not see the point, personally. I'm glad you enjoyed the videos, Amiga Prime Sentinel. I try and be informative. If they're deactivated, Harris, you can. It's just what they cost, you know. Stalker Lenin, I mean, it depends. It's like the GP5 is obviously really, really common, as you said, because it's the world's most mass-produced gas mask, or the Shum 62 kit, whatever you want to call it. But the thing is, I think it's cool for what it is. Don't get me wrong. It's good that the Soviets made a mask for basically everybody. I mean, it has no real collector's value, you know, and they're aging a bit now, but, you know, they're cool. It's cool that they exist. Ah, you're home from work, are you, Peach? At the moment, gamer, I won't, just because there's people trying to dox me and all that at the moment. But potentially in the future. Daniel, weirdly enough, I saw that a girl in Canada today was arrested for dressing up as a stormtrooper from Star Wars. It's like, really? I mean, that might happen in the UK as well, in all honesty, but, you know. No idea, Brett. Do you mean the M50 satchel bag? Depends how you've got the straps adjusted on it, really. Not really shed on fire. You could try rubbing it with an eraser. I know that might sound funny, but apparently you can use GP5s to rub out pencil marks. If you find gas masks interesting, Hiku, you might as well do, might as well do one. Apparently it was something like the police were saying she was like dressed up like she was actually armed or something. If we're getting to the stage where, I mean, I don't know about all the quarantine lockdown rules in Canada, but you know, if you had like kids literally dressed up as Star Wars stormtroopers, you don't think, you know, people go, oh, that's seriously an armed threat. Yeah, my mum's all right, thank you, Aussie Thunder. I've done that in some older ones, Keegan, if you look them up, but they never turn out very well, because obviously... I would kind of agree with you there, Shubble Wobble. I think for his sake, he needs to maybe lie down and sleep. I don't even know what that is, Harris, but sounds interesting. Sadly, it wouldn't Deweese fit in a single video, just because there's too much stuff, as you might be able to see, and it's not even restricted to this room. Anyway, I'll be off in a minute, because I said it was just a quick little short stream tonight for the people who, you know, didn't see the earlier stream and wanted to see one. Thanks to the people that donated, I appreciate it. I have both an M17 Keegan and an XM28, so yes, I do have two of the American Vietnam sort of period masks. Sadly, not Amiga Prime Sentinel. I mean, some hardware stores used to do it, and lots now aren't even selling to the public due to like massive demand. What, as in like the VPU clip-on units, Brett? No. But in terms of the only thing I can suggest, Amiga, is if you see if there's any decent eBay sellers that are kind of like more like hardware store sellers that have some new filters in date. But at the moment, it's a total crapshoot trying to recommend anything, because often by the time people go to look, they've already sold out again. Yeah, Sean, if you mean American soldiers, yes, they'd have carried masks with them. If it's RD40, that means it's 40mm screw thread. ABEC means it's organic vapor, inorganic vapor, acidic vapor, and ammonia-based vapors. So in theory, all ABEC 1 filters should be the same, or ABEC 2 filters should be the same, basically. The Sherman Firefly, Shwubble Wobble. Anyway, I'll be off now. So thanks for everybody that came on for this brief one this evening. As I said, it was just a bonus stream. Don't forget to like the stream on your way out. Yeah, cool, George. Just send me a message on Discord then while I check it. I'll see if I can work out for you what it is. Right, see you all. Goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen. Whatever some other goodbye terms are.